Being a teenager can be hard. It's a time of rapid change, growth, but it can also come with pressures and unique challenges that can impact mental health. To talk more about some of those challenges, we have Kat Lanting, Director of Programming and Expansion with the Mental Health Foundation of West Michigan, along with Eleanor Dykes. She's a teen and a mental health advocate. Thank you, ladies, for being here with us.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. So, Kat, just talk about a little bit more about why teens are struggling with mental health.
Well, again, it is a time of rapid growth. It's a time of risk factors, right? So we not only have changing in our bodies and our hormones, but young people have a lot of change in social. And especially right now, we have change in how am I perceived, how am I fitting in. So just bigger risk factors today with social media, with the amount of information that young people have. So it is a time of high risk, but that offers us a good chance to have conversations.
So how do you know when your teen is struggling? What should parents look out for when they know something is serious, right?
So, of course, we like the Be Nice action plan, which we teach at Be Nice. And the first thing is to notice. So there's a lot of typical adolescent changes that you might notice, more worrying, maybe not participating in things that a young person typically would participate. So that's time to ask some questions, and really conversation is number one. So looking for changes that last longer than 2 weeks, and then having a conversation about that. Where did that come from? Is this the first time you're feeling that? And more about what could have brought about, right? So more of those risk factors. However, it doesn't mean that it's, a typical adolescent change can't turn into something else. So what we say is notice and then invite yourself to have a conversation. What's going on? Tell me more about that. But it's always okay to ask, right? And some people say, well, that might be typical. That's okay. Ask about it. And ask your friends. Ask friends who have older children, and ask your community, is this something that I should continue to talk to my kid about or reach out for more information about?
All right, Eleanor, the high schooler, the teen, we want to hear from you now. What are some mental health challenges that you have dealt with?
Myself, I've dealt with depression, anxiety, just wanting to fit in, make as many friends as possible. And sometimes that's hard in such a big environment like high school. And so in my personal experience, I did therapy. And in the cases of people who may not be able to do therapy, definitely join clubs like Be Nice, or just surround yourself with lots of friends and people who you feel like you can be yourself around. And yeah, I think it's just important to feel like you are loved and you are seen and things like that.
That's good. What are you noticing at school among your friends and other peers?
Yeah, definitely a lot of people, they just want to fit in. They want to follow like trends, and just, it's hard to feel like you may be different. And I think that people can be a little harsh, kind of, and so just be nice and be kind to people. And I think that the more that you're just inviting, especially kids who may be shy and not be able to like put themselves out there as much, just be inviting, be friendly, and it's a community, I think. Yeah.
Those are the words, be nice, right?
Yeah.
You kind of touched on it, but Kat, what can young people do to stay on top of their mental health?
Yeah, looking at those, what do I have that could be a risk factor, right? So what's really awesome is identifying those things with young people in your life, having those conversations. So if someone identifies this is hard, what are the protective factors I can put in place? So setting good boundaries is number one. Boundaries with screen time, with social media, boundaries with friend groups, with people that I'm not feeling that love from, like Eleanor said. And then really celebrating those positive relationships I have. So identifying an adult I can tell anything to. That doesn't have to be a parent. So for parents who are wondering, is that me? Have that conversation with your young person. Who do you have in our life that you can lean on and rely on? And then really just those trying new things, right? Eleanor was telling me earlier that she really likes art, and that's something that's good for her mental health. So maybe that's being outside, maybe it's watching that really good show. So celebrating the things that make my thoughts, actions, and feelings feel really, really good right now, because that's also a protective factor for young people, is we know they have the ability to feel really, really awesome. So celebrating those times too.
All right, Kat, Eleanor, thank you so much for being here. Great advice before we start the new school year, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.